I think that's
gotta keep your friends close and your enemies
dead.
Even closer.
your enemies undead. I got sort of like a half-baked idea. And I want to figure out if it can be fully baked. Maybe it can't.
Well, let's pop it back in the oven at 400 for 15 minutes and find out.
Sounds like a good idea. Okay, so this is a concept for a brand new video game genre. I'm doing a crossover. And pretty much what I have cooking is your cozy game and a Souls-like. Take your Stardew Valley, mesh it with Dark Souls. It's Harvest Souls. And I think the reason why I don't see it very much is because they seem very disparate as genres. Because the cozy game isn't supposed to be, well, difficult, but also combat heavy. And I think you would have to make it so that it actually isn't about the combat that makes it difficult. It would have to do something with the actual farm itself.
And you just have rodents of unusual size that you have to murder because they're eating all your food.
So now it's like a tower defense game. You have, Tower
defense souls.
Tower defense souls. Harvest Souls defense. Great. One of the hallmarks of a Souls game is that there are consequences to failure, right? If you die, your souls or your essence or whatever, it gets dropped on the ground, and then you gotta go and you gotta reclaim it. And I'm thinking that you would have to have a thing where your farm itself was under attack or was being threatened with destruction, and that if negative consequences came along, like maybe thieves come and they steal your food, then you can go on a quest to regain it, but if you don't do it in the right time limit, now it's gone.
Isn't this... I feel like this would be more like Moonlighter.
Well, yeah, but in Moonlighter, you didn't really have to worry about that. You were the one going in and getting the loot.
Yeah,
and then it's
shop. Similar to that. You have a thing, a little cozy place, your shop. But then you have the adventure where you go out and get things for your shop.
Right. But there's not the farming aspect. Like, it's not
you're farming the items from the dungeons.
I guess if you wanted to consider it that, but I don't necessarily think of Moonlighter as very Soulsy. I think it's more...
It doesn't have to be Soulsy. You want a cozy action game.
I want a hardcore cozy game. I want to think about a game that is meticulous and you have to think strategically about it, but it also lets you grow crops and learn about...
I feel like you're really trying for that I love Stardew Valley and I like Souls-likes thing that you got going on there.
Now I gotta mesh them. In a way.
There's a game, it's a JRPG, so I don't know how much you like it. But it's called Harvestella.
Okay.
I think it's made by Square.
Oh god.
So,
Oh no.
I tried it. I couldn't really get into it. It's very not my alley, I think. But, you might be interested if you're liking the combat and the farming.
Oh,
maybe.
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know, check it out.
Sure.
Not right now, because, check it out, and then if you play it,
I'll report back to see if it was what I was thinking about. Yeah.
I refunded it before 2 hours, because it's like, not my thing.
Right. Because, there is combat in a lot of those games, like Stardew Valley, any of those, Coral Island. They have dungeons you go into, and you can fight monsters, and that's how you collect loot, but there's nothing about it that's like Souls-like. Maybe what you could do, I think it might be hard to actually do like the farming as the Soulsy element, just because they're separate.
I feel like what you do instead of a farm, like growing crops, you raise monsters.
Isn't this Graveyard Keeper?
I didn't like that one either.
You raise monsters.
Raise monsters, and that you take care of the graveyard in that one.
Yeah. But you're thinking about actually raising monsters, or
yeah, you raise the monsters.
Okay, so it's a necromancer game. We create monsters.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. This is not part of the genre. This isn't necessarily the game, but I might have come up with a better game. And I guess it's kind of like Dungeon Keeper, but it's much more of like the farming sim kind of thing, which is you have the dungeons instead of the farms. You own the dungeon. You make the monsters that are going to live inside of the dungeon, and then the heroes keep coming to try and kill off your monsters. I feel like
that's a game that exists already too, like games where you make the dungeon, put the monsters in it, and then heroes come in, a la tower defense style, to try and kill your, defeat your stuff and steal your treasure.
Well, that's why I said it might remind people of like Dungeon Keeper, but I'm like talking about like it looks like Dark Souls, it plays more like Dark Souls. You can go around your caverns and stuff. You can expand them out. You can dig out.
All right, so I've got the premise for you, Nathan. Under this guise, it's a game where you make the monsters. You play as a powerful lich.
All right, you love it.
And because now you're a necromancer, and technically you're undying. Like you can your physical form can be destroyed, but they have to destroy your phylactery so you actually die. So you can come back.
Sure.
So now you've got the eternal life aspect.
Sure.
Coming back, and what you're doing is trying to create the baddest ass monster there is.
Okay, yeah, this is good.
And so you start off creating small monsters in your lab or in your vats, maybe you have vats where you grow these monsters.
Sure.
But you've got to go out and get the supplies and mix them and create them from other monsters, essentially. So you've got your exploration, and your gathering resource is gathering the body parts and stuff like that. And then you come back into your labyrinth or whatever, your lich home, I guess. And you combine these things, create the monsters, grow them up to be bosses, essentially, and fight them to see if they're worth, keeping.
Okay, this could work.
Yeah. Well, then you also have to have, a skill tree for, how you can do things, things you can give the monsters, skill trees to give the monsters different abilities and stuff like that, and then ways to improve you. So maybe the goal in this is when you create a monster, you can fight it, and if you like it, you can upload it to the archive for other people to try and fight.
Oh.
To spawn in the overworld or whatever.
Huh.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. Here's another possibility, though. I'm going to jump off of that. Maybe the goal is you're a lich, right? And liches don't really like the living. They're not fans. What if your goal was you're trying to create your monster army because you want to take over the kingdom that you are currently in? So there are castles, there are towns, there are forts, and they're heavily defended. And what you're trying to do is trying to build those monsters so you can assault and take over those places. Now you have your detailed Souls-like combat, where you build yourself the army that you're going to be able to go into, along with your own ability, go in and try and take out the guards and, eliminate the people that are in those towns, and also, gather their resources, gather, their ore, take over the mines and everything so that you have more resources so you can make your golems, you can make your ghouls, you can raise the dead from the bodies of your fallen enemies. And if you die at any time, you are undying, your resources end up lost there because you fall into, a mist. Your resources end up lying on the ground waiting for you. So now here's the lost souls element, and you resurrect back at your keep, essentially, wherever you are. And in order to get it back, you have to get there. And if you die again before you get that, then too much time has passed and those resources are lost.
I feel like instead of giving you resources, what happens is if you die in the town gets emboldened and it increases their power level, like the army of the town defenses become stronger.
Kind of like the Nemesis system, right? Yeah. Like, yep, that would be good.
Which is not a system you can use technically because it's trademarked. But
yeah, they have actually used it for a few other types of versions of it. I don't think you can call it the Nemesis system. But
I know it could be interesting. I think that idea that we just did with the Lich in the creating monsters is probably the best iteration of it.
Yeah. I like that idea because you still get your combat, but you also get the cool thing where you get to be undead Lich. And you get to make, like, an army of the dead that you can then use and try and take over this very powerful kingdom and all the knights and the adventurers and everyone that's trying to come after you. That'd be cool. Also kind of a neat idea for a tabletop campaign. Being able to be...
It'd be, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, everyone loves to be a necromancer, right? I think that's law.
Yes.
I think that's that's
gotta keep your friends close and your enemies
dead,
even closer.
your enemies undead. What do we call the game? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Move Lich, get out the way?
No, definitely not that.
Okay.
I guess the real question is, what would you name a game about raising armies as a Lich and creating undead abnormalities, abominations?
Yes, what would you call our Cozy Souls game about Liches building armies that they can use to storm castles and such? Please, we're taking suggestions. Let us know.
Let us know in the comments below what you would name this game, and would you play it? Not that we have the ability to make it, but probably someone does.
Someone does. Who knows who? If you're out there, Eric Barone, after you're done with Haunted Chocolatier, here's your next game. Enjoy. Or From Software. You're done with Elden Ring. You need a new thing to make. Here, you can get into a whole new genre. It'll be super fun. Armored Core can wait.